conversation in regards to Kale's power, being able to stop Super Saiyan Blue Goku in detail, because I've taken time to rewatch the episode a few times. I've also taken time to read through you guys' comments, and of course I see and understand completely why everybody feels the way they feel, because I pretty much felt the same thing. I think it's bad writing on behalf of Toei. It's lazy writing for one. Granted, I still think there are a couple of things perhaps some of you should try to at least understand, which is kind of what I initially thought, but it really didn't hit me until I read a comment, actually a couple comments that kind of brought this point up. One comment goes out to Android 17. It says, one major mistake we are doing is comparing power levels, is assuming that Super Saiyan Berserker's power level is between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. It is not. While it took Caulifla Super Saiyan 2 just to divert her ki blast, Caulifla did not knock her out of the form, although by sweet words she did. This is a new form they are introducing, so they chose to keep the power level in the same tier as Super Saiyan Rage. Remember, Broly is not canon, so they can choose Kale's power level as much as they want. I thought this was a really good comment, and this is pretty much what I thought while I was watching the episode. Granted, I still think, like I said, bad writing, lazy writing, not enough detail and explanation to really elaborate further on that. If you pick it apart slowly, I think you can kind of see those points, but if you don't, it still can be considered an ass pull. So I agree, and I understand where both sides are coming from. So I think the assumption was that Kale's Super Saiyan form was just that. It was just a regular Super Saiyan 1, or even merely just a little bit of a boosted Super Saiyan 2 form. And when you compare that, let's just say, to Super Saiyan Rage, of course we know Super Saiyan Rage was indeed on par and on level with Super Saiyan Blue. But granted, Trunks is in a completely different class of his own. He went through so much shit. That anger, I've been telling people this for a while. This is the only aspect of the writing where I think I understand it, because I've been in that mindset when it comes to things. Anger and emotions can place you in a state where your power is uncontrollable. Now granted, like I said, I still think the explanation of it should have been given. I still think it also had happened way too soon. Just to throw it right in there, it's kind of a lot for us as viewers. And then of course, most of us are gonna be like, this is bullshit, you're throwing this at us too quick, there's no explanation, there's no elaboration on how this really makes sense, so it comes off as quote-unquote bullshit or an ass pull. I totally get it, and that was pretty much the same shoes I was in. But granted, I also think people are forgetting that Kale's transformation is not just a basic Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2 transformation. This is, like Android 17 said, her version essentially of a Super Saiyan Rage. That is what they're trying to introduce, as well as put into effect that her not being able to control her power. Of course, we've seen that several times here in Dragon Ball. I don't think any fan can deny that and say, oh, well, that was different. You can't say it was different for Gohan when he snapped back during the Cell Saga. You can't say it was different for Trunks when he snapped and turned to Super Saiyan Rage in the Goku Black arc. You can't make exceptions and say, well, when they snapped and when they were really unable to control their power and were crazy strong, that it's much different from Kale. Different circumstances or different feelings in regards to what specific thing ticked off each Saiyan fighter to snap. Okay, but in terms of the emotions, just the anger and everything else, the frustration that they had in their bodies while they were transforming, while they were fighting, that stuff is all the same. It's raw emotion, it's raw anger, and that is a scary thing. And I think that's how they're trying to sell Kale, that her not being able to control her power, her being completely just a berserker, of course, is what makes her extremely dangerous. And I don't think it was really quote unquote shitting on Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Like I said, that's why I initially said, when I really didn't look into things, I watched the episode really twice. I watched it, of course, when it first aired, then I watched the subtitle version, and I made that video and saying, oh, it's complete bullshit. I've taken time to rewatch it, look at comments, compare different aspects of Kale's legendary or Kale Super Saiyan form, the fact that it's not just a regular mere Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2 transformation, comparing that with Super Saiyan Rage. Of course, we know her inspiration is influenced by Broly. You got to consider how strong Broly was, and he was not beatable for a time. It's to me, it's the same thing in that light. Now granted, I respect anybody who disagrees, because you are entitled to feel the way you feel. It's lazy writing, it's bad writing. They haven't put in enough proper explanation, I think, for the average fan to really buy it. Like I said, for someone like me who has always been a person that believes that emotions and anger plays a vital role and sometimes pushing someone's strengths and power above and beyond that next level, that is not going to always be foreign to me. It may be foreign to some of you, or you just may not buy it just because you think Super has always been bullshit from day one. Granted, I know some people just hate Super, wanted a reason to complain, but I know really a lot of you are just disappointed because it is lazy writing. There was no explanation in regards to this, and it gave you the impression that Kale was basically just in like I said, a mere Super Saiyan 1 transformation form, and she was able to compete on par with and stop and tank essentially Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now also keep this in mind as well, and I also saw some people thinking that those are just lame ass excuses. Goku holding back. If Goku really wanted to kick ass and annihilate people in this tournament, he completely would. We know Goku as a fighter loves the challenge. He loves being able to really test himself, and ironically Goku likes to put himself in dangerous situations. If you even consider yourself a real Dragon Ball fan, you know that as much as anybody else does. Goku likes to put himself in tough and difficult situations where he's not using all of his power, where he really has to fight and challenge himself to figure out a different means to compete with somebody who is strong. Now, of course, this does not mean that we use this quote unquote as a quote unquote excuse, every time someone's able to quote unquote tank Super Saiyan Blue. A lot of quotes, but I gotta put it out there because I know how people think. But you gotta think, Goku is not even fighting at 100% at all, not even close. Going Super Saiyan Blue, whether you look at it as a good thing or a bad thing, is pretty much a norm at this point. So him tapping into that doesn't mean he's automatically going to kill whoever he's fighting. You also have to remember, these Universe 6 Saiyans are the strongest in their universe, guys. They are not kids. They're not children. They're not mere adolescents that literally just learned how to fight for the most part. Granted, I think they've been given their power and their rise to their power a little too fast. I personally would have preferred it to be a little bit more developed, to have taken a slower course to them reaching and achieving their power to get to where they are. But nonetheless, we are here. They are the strongest Saiyans of their world, just like Goku and Vegeta and Gohan are the strongest of Universe 7, okay? Planet Earth. Those are the strongest Saiyans in Universe 6 that we know of today. They are going to be extremely powerful. You look back at how Kale was able to compete with Vegeta. Granted, once Vegeta went Super Saiyan Blue, he totally kicked his ass because, of course, Kale had never even went Super Saiyan before. You got to think, these Saiyans have never gone Super Saiyan before in their life. And they were already strong to begin with, naturally strong in their base forms, and that probably is due to their evolution. You also got to look at that. And then when you consider when they're finally able to tap into their Super Saiyan transformation, that extra power, like I said, granted, they've been in their base forms probably a lot longer. Of course, the evolution, I think, of being without their tails for quite a bit of time has probably helped them as well. With the Universe 7 Saiyans, they were more so reliant on their tails for a large portion of their life until eventually the tails were gone. Universe 6 Saiyans have been without their tails for a while now. They've been able to adapt to being strong without them. They finally tap into Super Saiyan. You got yourself a really strong Saiyan. Like I said, I don't hate the Universe 6 Saiyans. Kale, I'm not a big fan of, but when it comes to trying to understand things, at least in a certain aspect, I'm not saying you have to completely agree with it and go along and say, oh yes, this makes perfect sense, this is 100% logical and yada yada yada. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying when it comes to Kale specifically in this episode, in this case, granted, bullshit or not, her Super Saiyan transformation is not a mere Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2. Put it on par with Super Saiyan Rage. That's why they dropped in the note with Vegeta as well. Like I said, it should have been explained and detailed a lot more. I know a lot of people are just upset with the power scaling in Dragon Ball Super in general. I think it's all over the place. I understand where you guys are coming from, and just because I like Dragon Ball Super doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and blow the writers' asses for everything and say everything they do is great. I speak up and I say, yo, this could have been explained. This was weak. There wasn't a lot of, logic and sense when it came to this. So on and so forth. I honestly don't think it was a mere shitting on Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as I've seen in a lot of the comments. I've seen Android 17 shitting on Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Krillin shitting on Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Kale shitting on Super Saiyan Blue Goku. People, I think, are forgetting Goku as a fighter has evolved so far. He's much smarter as a fighter, granted, than he is just as a normal guy just sitting around doing normal shit. Goku knows how to scale his power back. He knows how much to use. He knows how much to give. If Goku really wanted to go 110% and obliterate things for what they're worth, he could totally do that. Like with the situation with Hit. Hit could have died in that Universe 6 tournament if he wasn't as strong as he was. Goku knew what he was doing. He tapped into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. He did the Kamehameha. He was not holding back. There was a chance that even him trying to do that, of course, could have damaged him in a really severe way, and he did have after effects. He knew what he was doing. If Hit wasn't as strong as he was, Hit could have died from that Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Kamehameha. My point is, Goku knows what he's doing. If he really wanted to kick Kale's ass and not have fun with her at all, he would have did that. This is a new Saiyan, a female Saiyan at that. This is the first time Goku has really fought a legitimate female Saiyan from what we know of, unless there's something else that hasn't been told to us. It was fun. You saw in his face. You saw in Khalifa's face. They were enjoying it. Hence why he didn't want Kale to interfere at first. He probably didn't think Kale was as strong as she was. Once he realized that, of course, granted Kale was going after him anyways, he still entertained the idea. So I'm not trying to get you guys to agree with me 100%. Or see my point 100% and say, oh yeah, well what you say makes complete sense. I'm sorry for saying what I said. No, you guys are entitled to believe what you want to believe, to feel the way you feel. I totally get why you feel the way you feel, and I don't blame you one bit. All I'm trying to say is I always try to provide a more like it's like after you've calmed down, after you've relaxed, because usually people drop those comments right after they watch the episode, so you're irate, you're pissed off, you're a little irrational. Not saying it's a negative thing, it's just that's what happens. We get mad. I've done it myself. You respond to things in the moment. You don't relax. 9 times out of 10, yes, you say how frustrated you are, which is how you feel in the moment, but sometimes you need to give yourself time to relax, to look at things over a couple more times. And I'm just trying to provide a different outlook or a different aspect to the situation as to why I also thought it was bullshit, but I'm not pissed off about it. I'm not so mad. Granted, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, Kale just completely stomped on Super Saiyan Blue Goku, but I wasn't thinking about things rationally until I watched the episode a couple times, did some more research, and I came to that conclusion, as well as reading through the comments that you guys provided, that Kale's Super Saiyan form is not just a mere Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2. It is on par with Super Saiyan Rage, and her emotions itself also plays a role in that. That's always been a theme in Dragon Ball, and it's like people are forgetting it and saying there's exceptions. There's no exceptions. Gohan's Rage, no exception, no different. Trunks' Rage, no exception, no different. Kale's Rage, no exception, no different. Granted, I think these Universe 6 Saiyans in general have received things so quickly in regards to their powers, in regards to turning into Super Saiyans and these transformations. Everything has happened so fast. It hasn't been developed properly. I told you, I think 100% it should have been slowed down and been taken a lot longer for them to get to these points, or at least a lot longer for us to see it. More dialogue, more explanation, more proper writing to get them into these roles. That way, by the time they hit these transformations and get these powers, it's not going to be this resentment that the community has saying that we feel they rushed it too fast. And that's essentially what they've done as the writers, and now they kind of have to deal with that most of the community thinks everything is rushed. It's been bullshit how they've gotten such great powers so fast, and it hasn't been properly slowed down so that it would make more logical sense, saying, okay, it's been a while, they got it, now we're here. So I'm done ranting. Well, not really ranting. It's just like I said, I always try to provide a different look to a situation. I think it's too easy just to go on the bandwagon and to jump along with everybody else. Granted, I still think there are some things that are bullshit. Like I said, lazy writing, not proper details, definitely no proper explanation. Legitimately, it's just kind of, I had to do a lot of digging myself to kind of see things for what I think they're trying to sell. And granted, some of you are still not going to see it that way. You're going to see it as complete bullshit. Like I said, you're entitled to feel that way. I just want to give a different perspective because I know some of you guys are a little bit more open-minded to trying to see things a different way if certain information is presented and brought to you. Some of you guys aren't gonna flinch at all. Some of you guys will be like, okay, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, still bullshit, but what you say could make sense if they do the right thing with it. That's all I'm saying. Now granted, if anything else crazy happens after this and it continues to be more and more and crazy, non-explaining, bad writing, lazy writing, very little explanation bullshit, at that point we can probably all agree as a whole Dragon Ball Super is officially going down the whatever, the toilet, the can, whatever the hell you want to say it. But I'm saying let's be patient, give it more time. The Goku Black arc, I think for the time being there were people upset with the beginning of it. Granted, I thought it was hyped and I thought a lot of people did too, but I also saw others saying they didn't like the way the beginning started. Then it got really good. It got crazy, got exciting, and of course the end was what everybody's like, what the fuck was that? I'm saying with this tournament of power, let's give it some time before we start making rash conclusions that the whole tournament of power is fucked. Power scaling super has always been a question mark since the beginning. That's really nothing new. I'm hoping that this doesn't put that down in a negative light, but perhaps it could to some of you. Once again, I agree, but I just want to provide a different outlook on this for those of you that are more open-minded to at least trying to see other things. And granted, you'll still feel the way you feel, but at least you can look at it in a different light. That way, going forward in the episodes to come, if more stuff is revealed about Kale and her power transformation, or at least in regards to what would make more sense logically, starts to come out a little bit, then maybe it can make the situation a little better than what it is. So it's just my thoughts. You guys can feel free to comment what you say below. You can say, you're full of shit, you don't make any sense, I hate you. And okay, that makes you feel good, go ahead. Also, like I said, if you still don't agree, you don't have to, but like I said, just want to provide a different outlook on this. I've talked for long enough, I'm tired. I did hope that you guys at least enjoyed this for the time being. It's been a while since I've actually done like a legitimate 15+ video. I think the last one I did was in regards to Gohan's power level, or a breakdown about something with Gohan's power that people were irate about when they thought he was never going to return to power. And I did that probably at least half a year ago. But anywho, hope you all enjoyed. If you stuck around all the way, appreciate it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. For the supporters that of course watch this all the way, you guys are fucking kick ass. Appreciate, love you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you actually watch this all the way through. I just want to know. May do something special for you guys, just give a shout out just for sticking down the whole thing, because usually people dip like halfway through or even like 25% through the video. If you guys stuck all the way through, you are real MVPs and you truly rock with me in Saiyan Nation. Even if you don't agree with my with how I feel on this, and how I feel is I still think it's bullshit that they have to clean up, hopefully, but I can see where they're going in regards to how it's being done, because Kale is not supposed to be on par with Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. Her transformation is a Super Saiyan Rage level transformation. That given, it is on par with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Granted, he wasn't even going 100%. If he really wanted to kick her ass and stomp the mud out of her, he would have done that. So that's all I gotta say. Appreciate all the love and support. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Once again, back here is more Dragon Ball content and discussion very soon.